Yo, what's up, people? It's your boy. I'm Chris the Dom One, and I'm back with another video. You know what you got to do? Rate, comment, subscribe. Do not forget to hit the notification tab so it'll let you know when my next video or live stream goes down. Uh, this is pretty much part 2 of yesterday about the disconnect, the quote unquote disconnect between Magic Johnson, Jeanie Buss, the Magic Johnson interview where he pretty much said that there's too many chefs in the kitchen. Which, by the way, Magic, you was also in that kitchen. Okay, now there's been fallout from that particular interview. And I always tell you guys, there's, 3 sides to the truth. It's your truth, their truth, and the actual truth. And I kept telling you guys yesterday my reasonings behind what Magic said. And I was telling you guys, pretty much there's more to the story. And after that Magic Johnson interview, everybody kept, everybody on YouTube was pretty much copying and pasting what Magic was feeding the media. The media, it likewise did the same thing. And nobody, it was several people that were, coming at it using their common sense. Okay, so there have been, after that interview, there has been plenty other interviews and plenty other articles pretty much denouncing a lot of things Magic Johnson said in that First Take show. And Ramona Shelburne of ESPN has pretty much been on this same path. Will Kane, who I really don't like Will Kane, but his perspective is refreshing. And several other people are coming to the front. The Los Angeles Times, Bleacher Report, everybody's coming out pretty much on the same path where I'm coming from. And pretty much what has done transpired after the First Take interview is, first of all, Jeanie Buss, a lot of sources that are close to Jeanie Buss is not happy with Magic Johnson. She feels like she's not only been blindsided once by Magic Johnson, but now she's been blindsided twice by Magic Johnson. Okay? And also from several sources that are close to Jeanie Buss, that Jeanie Buss asked Magic on several occasions, is anything going on with him and Rob Pelinka? Are you having issues with Rob Pelinka? And in a lot of incidents, Magic Johnson said, no, there's nothing going on with him and Rob. Okay, so the times you had opportunities to talk about this narrative of he backstabbed me, he's talking behind my back. You had plenty of opportunities to talk about that, but you didn't. You chose not to. And I'm pretty sure Magic is going to say, well, he was, taking it, he was going the professional route. He wasn't going to let all these rumors, stop him from what he was doing. Also, in a lot of articles from a lot of journalists that are close to the Los Angeles Lakers organization, that is close to Jeanie Buss, has also talked about how the lack of communication was more so towards Magic Johnson than Jeanie Buss. Several times throughout last season, Jeanie Buss has tried to establish a communication line towards Magic Johnson, particularly through the Anthony Davis trade. She wanted to get some communication and get some facts on the Anthony, how it's going and things of that nature. And Magic Johnson chose not to call her back. And In this same article about the Anthony Davis trade, and the reason why there's so much bad blood between the Anthony, it's bad enough that Clutch Sports Management is pushing the narrative of it's either Anthony Davis goes to either you trade Anthony Davis to the Lakers or he's going there anyway. That was already out there, and it was already kind of heated on that. But and on top of that, LeBron James is talking to Anthony Davis about possibly joining the Los Angeles Lakers. That kind of rubbed them the wrong way. But on top of that, remember the leaks where everybody was accusing the New Orleans Pelicans of leaking the details in the trade between Anthony Davis and how the thing came out, it was just fake news. Well, Magic was also leaking the information about the trade demands, the trade requests for the services of Anthony Davis. And he was not communicating with Jeanie Buss on the details of the trade. I'm gonna have the full article linked below. I believe it's coming from I'm gonna have the article and the journalist's name. You can read it for yourself. And he pieced all this stuff together, by the way, which is not hard to piece, by the way. I mean, the only way you wouldn't get this information if you choose not to listen to the information. Everybody's quick to jump on Magic's side because let's go ahead and throw this out there. Magic Johnson was an awesome was an NBA it still is one of the greatest NBA players. And without Magic Johnson, without the services of Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, the NBA would still be on tape delay. So the NBA, the Los Angeles Lakers, anybody that loves basketball owes a debt of gratitude to Magic Johnson and Larry Bird. Okay? One of the greatest point guards, one of the greatest point guards in the NBA, in my opinion. But with that being said, let's not get things twisted and say give him a pass because Magic, ever since he holds the mantle of player of basketball operations for the Los Angeles Lakers, he have stumbled a bit during his tenure as president of basketball operations. He has done a lot of things that he needs to take fault in and take blame in. The Anthony Davis trade was a nightmare, was a PR nightmare. And yes, I believe the Pelicans was leaking information, but Magic Johnson was leaking information too, and he wasn't even telling Jeanie Buss the full extent of who he was going to trade. Now, according to a lot of sources, he was going to trade everybody, which I'm on board with that. If you're going to trade away that young core, because if you want Anthony Davis, that's what you're going to have to do. You will have to give the Pelicans an offer that they could not refuse. Okay? And I felt like if this was done classy, if this was done professionally, without the tampering and without, getting Clutch management involved in it, if Clutch management was not involved in it, and it wasn't no tampering, and if Magic indeed traded all the pretty much the whole young core, which everybody with a brain of a possum, of a dead possum, would reach that conclusion. In order to make this trade work, you're going to have to give up a lot for Anthony Davis. I mean, Anthony Davis is not, it's not a Rudy Poo. He's not a scrub. Okay, this is a premier player. Okay, so you're going to have to give up a lot if you want the services of Anthony Davis. And Even if they got Anthony Davis, I was always on the record, and everyone else was always on the record, they still need more. LeBron James and Anthony Davis just ain't good enough. Now, from a perspective of Anthony Davis working a better chemistry-wise with LeBron James, it's a good fit. I see it. Okay, is it a basketball fit? Yes, it's a basketball fit. But those two pieces alone is not going to elevate you to the NBA Finals. You're still going to need some more pieces. Okay, but with that being said, that's a good start. But this trade, if it was done regularly without the leaking, okay, which I want to, which Magic deserves some blame in that. Dale Demps owes some blame for that. Which, by the way, he is no longer the GM with the New Orleans Pelicans, and I think that's the reason why that's one of the big reasons why he departed, because of that particular trade. How Dale Demps and Magic Johnson was real petty. They was acting like two petty schoolgirls. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why Magic Johnson bounced up out of there, because if he would have stayed, I don't know if he would have survived this offseason. And he left on this false narrative of he wants to be Magic Johnson because it wasn't fun. But Magic, being president of the basketball operation is never fun. Okay, it's not a glamorous job. Okay, so Magic did not communicate with Jeanie Buss, and it was not the fact that he was unable to. It was not the fact that Jeanie Buss didn't want to communicate with him. It was just the simple fact of he chose not to communicate with Jeanie Buss on a lot of details. And to me, that's just showing, you talk about how this is your sister. We're family. Okay, this is how you treat your family. This is how you treat your sister. By you blindsided her twice, and you pretty much lied on her on national television, and theoretically she's your boss. And basically what you did was, hey, I'm not even going to tell my boss what I'm doing. Hey, I'm not going to. And you giving her this false sense of hope and narrative about the Anthony Davis trade. So, and to a larger perspective, I know a lot of people are not going to go this far out with it, but I felt like if Jeanie Buss, the two reasons why the lack of disrespect from Magic Johnson's perspective towards Jeanie Buss is twofold. One, she's new in the ownership role, okay? So she doesn't have a lot of experience on, as far as on the NBA level. I'm not saying that she's not a smart businesswoman. No one is taking that away from her. But I'm saying as far as the daily task of, running an organization, I think she's lacking in that, okay? And two, I feel like the reason why Magic Johnson was behaving the way he was behaving, because she's a woman, okay? A lot of men are not going to admit to that, and that's fair. But if Jeanie Buss was a man, Magic would not treated him that way, even if he knew less than Jeanie Buss, okay? And then when you listen to the rest of the First Take interview, he's talking about should the Lakers sell the team. The way how you was acting while you was working for the Lakers, you was treating it like a hostile takeover. Okay, you're not giving your boss important details about not only the success of the Los Angeles Lakers, but the day in, day out daily tasks of your business. and that just shows a lack of disrespect. Okay, Magic owns a lot of businesses. If one of his not player operation, but like a CEO or something like that, did exactly what Magic did to Jeanie Buss, this guy would be railroaded out of business. He would never get another CEO job again. Okay, and he would be shamed out of the business. A lot of corporations would not even touch him with a 10-foot pole because they're going like, wait a minute, you're doing Magic that way? Okay, he gave you the opportunity to run one of his businesses, and you're not, you're disrespecting him by not telling him the daily tasks is what's going on. Not to mention the fact you're holding a lot of things back about one of his businesses, okay, that he indeed should know because he's the owner of that business, okay? So, I kept telling you guys all day yesterday that there was more to this story, and a lot of stuff, came. The rest, sort of to say, the other shoe dropped, sort of say. Now, once again, I'm gonna say this for the record, because I know there's a lot of Magic Johnson fans out there, and this is not a disrespectful thing, but Magic, when he was player of basketball operations, he have done a lot of things that were head scratchers, and he made a lot of decisions that, if he wasn't Magic Johnson, he would have been fired a long time ago. Okay, let's talk about the draft. When they drafted Alonzo Ball, you had an opportunity to get Jason Tatum. Okay, and I'm not saying Jason Tatum is a world beater. Okay, I'm not saying Jason Tatum is one of the top 3 best up and coming NBA players. Okay, I'm not saying all that, but what I am saying is Jason Tatum is a whole lot better than Alonzo Ball, and I'm an Alonzo Ball fan. I like the style of play of Alonzo Ball. He pass first, shoot later. He's not, he's a real traditional point guard. Okay, but Alonzo Ball, he's, even though slowly but surely he's evolutionizing his jump shot, and he's bulking up, but he's also been injury prone. Okay, so you really haven't gotten a full extent of Alonzo Ball. The short window of Jason Tatum, you can see where ultimately his talent is going to take him. And you mean to tell me Jason Tatum on the Lakers roster would not help the Los Angeles Lakers? Is anyone going to sit out there and say Alonzo Ball is better than Jason Tatum? When Magic had the opportunity of drafting Jason Tatum, he didn't. He chose Alonzo Ball because he said Alonzo Ball, quote, he said Alonzo Ball reminds him of himself. Player-wise, talent-wise, where you can see some similarities, even though I've been on the record saying Alonzo Ball, when you look at his skill, he kind of reminds you more of a Jason Kidd, and I think that's one of the reasons why Jason Kidd is the assistant coach, where he can mentor Alonzo Ball, which, by the way, he's been around Magic years, and you would think he will learn something from Magic Johnson, even though Magic Johnson has been on the record that he wants to mentor Ben Simmons, but he was unable to because he was player of basketball operations. Well, Magic, you had somebody in the organization that you can, mentor and show him the ins and out of basketball business and show him how to be a better point guard on the floor. Okay, so you had somebody there, but even though his dad is kind of, loony and kooky in sort of way, he's a rebel without a cause, still, his father was never in the way of elevating his son. I mean, he'll be a fool to say no to that. But anyway, that's besides the point. All right. So Magic whiffed on that trade. D'Angelo Russell. Magic traded D'Angelo Russell for a bag of peanuts. Okay, because he said, quote unquote, he was not professional enough because of the incident with I forgot that guy's name, Swaggy P. So he traded him to the to the Brooklyn Nets, and since he's been there, he's actually gotten better. He was, he was in, I think he started in an All-Star, a Most Improved Player, all these accolades that he's reaping this year. Even though he has the problem, trying to smuggle weed in a Arizona tea can. But besides that, he's been pretty much squeaky clean. And as a player, he has developed. Okay, and he has developed a lot better than Alonzo Ball, and it was pretty much D'Angelo Russell was the point for the Lakers when they drafted for Alonzo Ball. Magic said, well, we don't need him, okay, so let's trade him. All right, so now you trade away a player, and when he left the Los Angeles Lakers, he actually gotten better. Meanwhile, the player that you trade is, I'm not saying he gotten worse, but what I am saying is he hasn't elevated nowhere because he's been injury prone. And even though he's working on the things that he's weak at, it's at a slow pace. And you would think with Hall of Fame basketball, we got all these Hall of Famers with the Los Angeles Lakers, and you have the biggest one with Magic Johnson, who, by the way, played point guard. You would think he would mentor this guy to at least get a little better. Okay, so he pretty much traded D'Angelo Russell for a bag of peanuts. Okay, meanwhile, he goes to Brooklyn, has a decent career there, and he's going to go into free agency. There's going to be a lot of teams that's going to overpay for his services. He's going to get a max contract. Meanwhile, you don't know what you're getting out of Alonzo Ball. You don't know. And by the way, you was going to trade Alonzo Ball with the other young core. You were going to trade everything in the building for the Los Angeles Lakers for Anthony Davis, which I would do that in a heartbeat. But he didn't even tell Jeanie Buss that. He only told her half of what he was going to offer. Okay? So you got that element in the room. And once again, Magic Johnson is a great representative of the NBA. And the NBA basketball fans, we owe an extension of gratitude to Magic Johnson. But to sit up there but Magic Johnson, you have to separate Magic Johnson, the player, from Magic Johnson, a player of basketball operations. And he has done a horrible job with the Los Angeles Lakers. You give up too fast on D'Angelo Russell. You drafted Alonzo Ball when you had other players in the draft that are, when you look at them today, they're a lot better than Alonzo Ball. They're they're improving, and Alonzo Ball has slowly digressed. Okay. On top of that, when you're trying to orchestrate a trade for Anthony Davis, you're not even communicating with your boss, Jeanie Buss. You don't want to speak to her. She's calling you so you can contact her. And you're hiding the details of the proposed trade for Anthony Davis. So this backstabbing narrative, which by the way, when he left, he quit on Jeanie Buss. He quit on the Los Angeles Lakers. And the season wasn't even over with yet. Didn't tell LeBron James. You would think he would tell LeBron James. You would think he would tell Jeanie Buss because that's supposed to be his family. That's supposed to be his sister. Okay? Didn't even tell them. Okay? He just 88 out the gate. And when he left, he said he wasn't having fun. That's the reason why he left. And he didn't want to tell Jeanie Buss because he was so scared. A guy who's successful in a lot of businesses in Los Angeles. A guy who was never scared on the court as a player. Now all of a sudden he develops this scaredness. He's so scared to tell Jeanie that he's leaving because he's not having fun. And he was scared that Jeanie was going to talk him out of it, which was a bunch of BS. It was a bunch of BS. Then the multiple phone calls Jeanie has before and after the Magic left the Los Angeles Lakers, trying to get some clarity between him and Rob Pelinka, when he had multiple opportunities to tell Jeanie Buss that if this was true about him backstabbing Magic Johnson, which if you listen to what the rumors are that Rob Pelinka was saying in The Office, he was basically saying Magic was never there. Where is Magic? Magic is never around. When you're a player of basketball operations, okay, you're going to be there a lot more than everybody else. It's not a glamorous job. You're going to have to go to a lot of these arenas to scout talent, okay? You're going to have to broker and negotiate deals with players that you're trying to bring to the roster and players that you're trying to get out of the roster. It is not a glamorous job. You can't go, and there's been reports that he would have, he would fly in Luke Walton. Oh, here's another kicker about, okay, I'm going to tell you this quick about Luke Walton. Okay, there have been reports where he wasn't happy with Luke Walton. So he would fly in, berate Luke Walton, and then fly out to whatever trip or whatever event he's trying to go to. And Luke Walton was so bad as a coach. So bad as a coach. When the Los Angeles Lakers fired Luke Walton was not on the market, not on the street, less than a week, already got a job. But this guy is so bad. He's the reason why the Los Angeles Lakers are not succeeding. He is so bad that he got a job within a couple of days. But this was the reason why you left Magic, because they didn't want to let go of Luke Walton. When Luke Walton got fired, you got to know he's a good commodity when the Sacramento Kings, who have better talent on the roster, if you take LeBron James out of the Los Angeles Lakers and you compare the Sacramento Kings roster to the Los Angeles Lakers roster, the Sacramento Kings roster has better potential, better future, better talent than the Los Angeles Lakers roster. Who out of that Los Angeles Lakers roster you think that's going to be a star? I'm not talking about a superstar. A star. Just a star. Who? Brandon Ingram? Kyle Kuzma? Alonzo Ball? These players have something in common. They're not consistent talent-wise. Brandon Kuzma, he can score you 30 in 3 or 4 games, and then in another 6 games, he's doing goose eggs. Brandon Ingram, you will see potential there in a couple of games, and then on a 5-game stretch, on a 6-game stretch, you're like, where the hell is he? Okay. Uh, Josh Hart, as a role player, I can see potential there, but he's not going to be a talent. He's not going to be a superstar talent. And Alonzo Ball, he's in and out of the roster because he stays injury prone. One of the reasons why he stays injury prone because he's not bulking up fast enough. Okay, that skinny body of his, when you bump up against you know elite athletes, eventually those body parts are going to break down. Okay, and just basketball itself, it's a grinding sport. 82 games is no joke. All right, so you have to have your body prepared for that. And I'm not saying Alonzo Ball's body's not prepared for, I'm just saying that with the body type that he's currently in, he's going to have to bulk up a little more if he wants to have a career in the NBA. That's just my opinion, okay? But all these players are not consistent on a talent level, and they're not developing fast enough. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, don't you think that's the coach? Should the coach have something to do with that? The coach has, he's around these players, so he should be developing these players. So shouldn't he, but look at Luke Walton. He's not a coach where he develop. You're gonna need other coaches around to help him develop talent. Okay, Luke Walton is more of a Golden State X and O type of coach, running fast, breaks up and down the court, things of that nature. But he never has been a coach that develops talent. Okay, and there's plenty of coaches out there if the Los Angeles Lakers need a coach like that. Okay, and I think like one of the reasons why they hired Frank Vogel, and a lot of people laugh at the Lakers going like, well, that wasn't even your first candidate. That wasn't the one who you really wanted. Okay, which yeah, that's true. That's very true. I think the Lakers went with names. They went with names, and then they went with okay, that's curious. So they went with names, and then they went with players that are, what is that? Okay, they went with players that had some type of relationship with LeBron James or some type of relationship with the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, so they didn't. The Los Angeles Lakers, if they had to do it all over again, they should have picked the coach that fits better with what you have. And Frank Vogel is that type of coach with Jason Kidd. Even though he didn't pick Jason Kidd is sort of with the younger group. Even though, when you look at Jason Kidd's track record with what he did with the Milwaukee Bucks, he under succeeded with the Milwaukee Bucks. And actually the Milwaukee Bucks are a lot better than the Milwaukee Bucks are a lot better without Jason Kidd. Okay? So, but if you look at all the coaching stops he has been with, as well as a player, on the point guard position, he has developed a lot of point guards in his time playing alongside them or coaching them. All right? So there's a reason why Jason Kidd is there, and that's to develop and elevate not only Alonzo Ball, but those other players that they have. And maybe now he can work with the younger core, and Frank Vogel can work with the veterans who are probably going to be in the rotation a lot more, and probably going to demand a lot of time as far as X's and O's. Okay, Frank Vogel is not there for Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Josh Hart, Alonzo Ball. I feel like those younger players are going to be around more so with Jason Kidd. As far as the X and O's and and things of that nature. Frank Vogel is going to handle and oversee all that, and they're going to have a traditional offense. It's not going to be that up and down crap that running the fast break. Is traditional to the sense of today's NBA, not the half court offense of the 70s and 80s and early 90s. It's going to be similar to that type of offense, but they're going to take the better shots. They're not just going to just run down, try to shoot a shot within 6 or 7 seconds. They do not have the talent for that. And if they somehow some way get Anthony Davis, which I do not see it, that's even going to benefit Frank Vogel and LeBron James. I don't see them getting Anthony Davis, by the way. So when you look at all this from a distance, Magic has a lot. Magic is the reason why a lot of the issues with what's going on, the turmoil that's going on with the Los Angeles Lakers. He deserves a lot of this blame in this blame pie. So he deserves a huge slice, as well as Jeanie Buss, as well as Rob Pelinka, as well as Clutch Sports, as well as LeBron James. You know, they all equally deserve a lot of this blame, and the people that's going to be hurt from this, and they're going to have a setback. But let's be real. Even with Magic Johnson, and if you take this issue that they have, this PR nightmare that they have, they was never in the running for Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant, even if they ran things squeaky clean, Kevin Durant was never interested in the Los Angeles Lakers because he wants to beat LeBron James. Okay, when you look at Kyrie Irving was never interested, despite what Kyrie Irving was never interested in the Los Angeles Lakers. With all this stuff plaguing the Lakers, if none of this didn't exist and Magic Johnson was still player of basketball operations, had named the title of player of basketball operations, Kyrie Irving was never interested in the Los Angeles Lakers because he'd been there and done that with LeBron James. If you look at Kawhi Leonard wants to have his own destiny, and he's been with the San Antonio Spurs when you had older, veteran, established players that won championships, and they got the credit more so than he did. He was never interested in the Los Angeles Lakers, and if he was going to Los Angeles, he was Clippers over the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's just be real here for a second. They never had an opportunity to get these big name talented players. You know, it's the way it is, all right? So, I mean, if you look at the article, and I'm gonna have the article down below, you can read it for yourself. Magic Johnson was just as much at fault as the other people in the organization, and this notion that, well, they got too many cooks in the kitchen, okay, that's the reason why they're failing. No, the reason why they're failing is the people that they promoted to these positions are they're not experienced enough with agent type job, even though he's been a sports agent, a very successful sports agent, more so with Kobe Bryant as well as other players in the league. Okay, so but as far as running a basketball organization, he's just starting at that level. The same way goes with Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson has never been player of basketball operations anywhere else. Okay, he doesn't have that type of recognition. Okay, let's keep it all the way truthful. That it's just the honest to God truth. Magic never established anything like that. Okay, so Jeanie Buss, she's learning on the job. Okay, as an owner. So when you got an inexperienced owner, an inexperienced player of basketball operations, you got Rob Pelinka, a partner with Magic Johnson. All three of these entities are inexperienced. Okay, so this is their first rodeo, sort of say. All right, and you're trying to learn on the job, and you have a communication issue, a lack of communication with uh Magic and Jeanie Buss, with Magic and Rob Pelinka. Okay, so you got chemistry issues there. You don't know what Magic is doing. You don't know what Rob is doing. You don't know what Jeannie's doing because y'all not communicating. And how y'all going to communicate when you got an environment set up where and according to Magic, he said he's pretty much saying Jeanie authorized this, that he wasn't going to be in the office all the time. He was going to be player basketball operations part-time, which that was a mistake on Jeanie Buss' part. When you're player basketball operations, it's a full-time job, okay? If you didn't want the job, if you couldn't do the job itself, then I think Magic, in retrospect, should have just said, well, I'll just be a consultant. Magic is pretty much a consultant with the Los Angeles Dodgers, okay? He's pretty much the pitch guy, the pitch man, okay? So when the Dodgers sign somebody, they say, "Hey, look, we got this stadium, we got all these accolades, we got these achievements, we got former Dodger players coming in. Hey, we got Magic, Magic is your pitch man, your hype man, okay? He sweetens the deal, sort of say. But Magic is not in the offices of the Los Angeles Dodgers, negotiating, brokering, and negotiating deals, okay? Because he has no experience in that. So you hire Magic because of his smile, his, the way how he brightens a room. He's your pitch man. He's your hype man. That's pretty much what Jeanie Buss was saying to Magic. Hey, I want you to be our pitch man, our hype man, okay? And Magic does have connections with the older established players in the NBA, such as Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, okay? But that class of NBA players. But this new class, there's no real connection. He doesn't really have a real connection with Ben Simmons. Players in that, Jason Tatum, and I feel like those players gravitate more to Kobe Bryant than Magic Johnson, because those players have witnessed and saw Kobe Bryant on television live. Okay, so that's where their connection fits better. And even though they know of Magic Johnson by the history, okay, by what their fathers, their mothers, their grandparents have told them stories about Magic Johnson, but they never saw Magic Johnson, play live. Even though you can go on YouTube, you get all types of footage of Magic Johnson, okay, but I feel like today's players have more of a connection with Shaquille O'Neal, with a Kobe Bryant, okay, sort of, and LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, Carmelo Anthony, more so than the older players such as Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Michael Jordan. Even though players identify with Magic, Michael Jordan more so with his shoes, okay? And they have, saw some of his amazing feats through YouTube, just like Magic, but, that's why they resonate with Michael Jordan. And I feel like they are players, even today's players, identify with Michael Jordan more than Magic Johnson, okay? And I'm talking about the angle of the shoe ankle, okay? So, to me, Magic is just at fault at this than and as well as everybody else. I mean, they've been butchering this since day one. Okay, and okay, normally in previous seasons, even though they butchered something, they could rebound from it because they can always look at the core young talent. Okay, yeah, we butchered D'Angelo Russell. Okay, yeah, we let Randall go for nothing, but look at the money that we're saving and look at this young core. Okay, well, you done had the young core over a couple of seasons now, and the young core is not developing. So you can't hang your hat, sort of say, on, well, we got this young core. Okay, I think this is the best you're going to get out of that young core. They're not going to, I mean, Brandon Ingram has been there more than 2 seasons. Kyle Kuzma has been there more than 2 seasons. uh Lonzo Ball has been there more than 2 seasons. Josh Hart has been there more than 2 seasons. I think this is the best you're going to get out of these players. Okay, so as far as superstars, I don't see superstar material out of those players. I don't see star material out of those players. I think you got some role players, okay? Players that can contribute to the team, but you can't depend on these players. So you're going to need to bring in players that you can depend on, okay? And in previous years, the Los Angeles Lakers organization would hang their hat on, well, you look, we may have butchered a few things along the way because we're, on the job training, but still we have this young core. Well, now you can't hang your hat on that no more, okay? And Magic saw the future before anybody else. He knew if he stayed, he would have been a lame duck player of basketball operations. He would have either resigned at the end of the season because he would have saw the light at the end of the tunnel that somebody's head is going to be on a chopping block, and it ain't going to be Jeanie Buss. Okay, so he said, okay, from that, because somebody had to pay for these decisions Magic has made for that Magic has done. All right, you can't say it was all Rob Pelinka. You can't say it was all Jeanie Buss because you haven't even communicated with Jeanie Buss on a lot of these decisions. Okay, so his head would have been chopped off. Definitely, Luke Walton would have been fired. Okay, and they would have to get a new coach, but they would have to streamline the organization. When you talk about player basketball operation, it was a two-headed monster. Okay, now you got to slim this down to a one-headed monster with one direction. Rob Pelinka was going from this perspective, and Magic was going from that perspective, and it just didn't coincide. It just didn't work. Now you got Rob Pelinka in there. Let's see what he can do this summer. But even with Magic Johnson there, they wasn't going to get none of these top name like the Kevin Durant's of the world. They wasn't going to get those players. At best, they would have gotten B level, C level type of talent. You know, you would probably have to overspend and overpay for Jimmy Butler if you want Jimmy Butler with the Los Angeles Lakers. JJ Redick, you will probably have to spend a little more to get him. Clearly, you need shooters, okay? So you can get shooters in the open free agent market, or you can get shooters from teams that they don't release these shooters because they wasn't, and there's a reason why you release players, okay? You don't release good players, okay? There's a reason why he's out there in the open market. Nobody has picked him up. I think that is the route where the Los Angeles Lakers are going to have to ultimately choose, okay? It's not by choice. It's not by design. It's just the simple fact of it is what it is. Okay. You got LeBron James. You surround him with shooters. I think that's what they're going to do. And if it means that you're going to have to give up on half or all of this quote unquote young nucleus you have, then you do that. Okay. If you have to do it, you have to do it. Um, if you want to give, I think this is going to be the final year of Lonzo Ball. If Lonzo Ball does not elevate can stay, if he has to stay healthy more than 70 games, if he doesn't do none of those criterias, then Lonzo Ball is not going, and they're going to give him, he's on a short lease, and they're going to give him until next year NBA trade deadline. If they don't see any improvement out of Lonzo Ball, he's gone. Okay, so I think Kyle Kuzma is going to stay. All right, because he when he's hot, he's hot. Okay, so he kind of reminds you of a J.R. Smith, sort of say. Okay, without the attitude. All right, and with I think J.R. Smith was a talented player. That can do multiple things. Okay, I think the only good thing Kyle Kuzma can do is shoot the ball. All right, so they're going to have to work on a lot of things, but the Lakers in whole was never going to get these big name talent. They never was. They wasn't even on the radar of the Kevin Durant's. The only way you're going, and let's talk about Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is not going to leave the Golden State Warriors to go to the Los Angeles Lakers. You're going to something that's uncertain, and you're going to leave something that's certain. If you stay with the Golden State Warriors, there's a possibility y'all going to be in the finals, and there's a possibility that you're going to win a lot of finals, a lot of championships. Okay, so why would he do that? And Kevin Durant, if somehow, some way the Knicks get Kyrie Irving, get Anthony Davis, I feel like that's the only way Kevin Durant is going to the Knicks. I think Kevin Durant's going to be the final piece. He wants to make sure all the pieces are where they're supposed to be. And then he's going to oversee and say, okay, let's figure out my destination from there. I don't think Kevin Durant is going to go to the Knicks first and hope that these other guys come to the Knicks. He's going to wait and see what the Knicks ultimately do. Okay. And if they can get those two players, he's going there. But I think his first choice is the Golden State Warriors. I mean, why would you leave the Golden State Warriors, even though you're not getting a lot of credit? But you are, with time, that can be changed. That opinion can be changed. 5-10 years from now, people will be saying, will begin to start giving you credit. Okay, remember, LeBron didn't get credit instantly when he was with the Miami Heat. Remember how people said, well, he made a super team. So a lot of people didn't give LeBron James credit. It took several seasons and several years till people finally gave him and acknowledged him the credit. Kevin Durant, if he wins a championship here and he wins a championship next year, then people are going to have to give him the nod of the best player. He will certainly surpass LeBron James. And then he will be in the topic of conversation, well, who was better, Kevin Durant or Michael Jordan? He will catapult himself to that discussion. And if LeBron continues to not, and LeBron will be put in the back seat, people will forget the greatness of LeBron. Even though I feel like LeBron overall career, he had a great successful career, okay, career-wise, but I never thought that he was going to be better than Michael Jordan. He's going to have all the individual stats. He's going to have the MVPs. He's going to have the championships that he won with Cleveland and 2 with Miami. I feel like the one with Cleveland is more important than the 2 with Miami. That's just my opinion. But other than that, that's pretty much it. Okay. It is what it is. I don't think when you compare his career to Michael's career, it's the same or it's better. I don't see that. Okay. But he had a marvelous career. Okay. And but when you compare his career with Kevin Durant's career, I'm gonna be the first one to tell you guys, when it's all said and done, Kevin Durant's gonna have more MVPs, Finals MVPs than LeBron James. He's going to have more championships than LeBron James. Okay. As far as individual stats go, I don't think he's going to eclipse LeBron James in individual stats. Okay. But the two stats that mean the most is going to catapult him past LeBron James. Okay. So it is what it is. But guys, I'm done. I didn't know I was talking more than, and it's going on an hour. But tell me in the comment section what you thought.